Good evening, everyone. I hope you all have an amazing night so far. All right. My name is Kyle Holbuck, or as some of y'all might better know me, my name is Brick. I am a former UC Davis Kesem camper, and I do have the pleasure of being one of the co-directors for Kesem this year.
And I'm his sister Ajax, better known as Anya, and I'm also a former camper at UC Davis Kesem and a former camp photographer as well.
We are both thrilled to have the opportunity to speak to everyone tonight about the incredible and life-changing organization that is Kesem. If you know me, Kesem means a lot, and apparently it happens to be all I speak about. So
True.
I'll try and keep it shorter.
Now you may be wondering, why did we choose Brick and Ajax for our camp name? So for me, Ajax is a direct reference to our dad, who passed away from brain cancer in 2014. Before he was born, his parents, or my grandparents, they were looking through a baby book trying to find a name to name their son potentially. But they settled on two names that they absolutely hated. One was Ajax, and the other one was Bruno. So henceforth he was referred to as Ajax Bruno until he was born and officially given the name Matthew Peter Holbrook. But I chose just Ajax because it's a bigger impact at camp in fewer letters.
Brick was a nickname that my dad gave me, and I don't know why he really gave it to me. I have a few guesses. So, my first guess, I am very clearly built like a brick.
Yeah.
The second and most likely reason was, as with any other mechanical engineer, I have loved Legos all throughout my life.
Yeah.
Engineers and Legos are synonymous, but every birthday gift was Legos, and so it kind of is not a far cry to say Brick relates to Legos. But third guess, and the one I hope for the least. I used to play basketball, and so this could be his way of just poking fun and playing at me saying I'm bad. So I really do hope it's not that, but in Kesem, I am not allowed to use the name Brick when I play basketball because it is a jinx. So I gotta find a new one for that.
Our father was one of the goofiest, silliest, most hilarious people I've ever known, but he was also the most caring, sincere father and an incredible husband to our beautiful mother. He was our rock and our biggest supporter, and I know I wouldn't be anywhere close to who I am today if I didn't know for a fact that he is still rooting for me every step of my journey and every day of my life.
Our dad really was always rooting for us. Anya used to compete in gymnastics, and he was the person who would record the scores for every person on the team. He was the one also happening to take video of everything going on at the same time, while also cheering us all on. So he was very busy, but in my basketball, he did the same, as well as pretending like he was the coach who was our actual coach. And Taekwondo, he was the person to hype me up before I competed. He was the one to kind of cheer me on, give me suggestions, kind of like get me in the zone to compete. So he was really our rock. And losing him sucked. We lost the person who would run into my Taekwondo dojo and yell turn back sidekick to my coaches as if he was a little kid on the playground playing tag with them. We lost the person who would, at night, instead of saying good night, he would say elephant shoes. The person who, when he's watching Survivor, call us over when there was a challenge because he knew that we didn't like the other parts of it. Losing our dad left a void. It was something that we thought was impossible to fill. It left us confused and incredibly sad. And nothing will ever fill that void. but luckily we did find Kesem.
So we did not want to go to camp our very first year. We didn't know what it was going to be like. We didn't know what we'd be doing. I mean, in general, the term cancer camp sounds simply dreadful. So we thought we'd be miserable the entire week. And I'm sure all of the parents of campers here have dealt with their children feeling the exact same thing. But I'm also certain that you parents noticed a change for the better in your kids when they came back from camp. Our first week at Kesem was the very first time our mom was by herself after our dad passed. She had been working so hard to support two kids who were very confused by their dad's passing and had only the highest hopes for what Kesem could bring us. And that week changed our lives and lifted a burden off of our shoulders and her shoulders as well. So thank you, Mom, for giving us Kesem and changing our lives.
Kesem is for the kids, but we also truly believe that Kesem is for the parents. Every parent wants to see their kid happy and healing, someone making strides to the right direction. And Kesem offers the environment to do just that. So camp at its core is a place where kids can just be kids. Cancer sucks. There's no other reason to that. It harms the people we love. It forces us to grow up quicker in the face of a terrible disease that most kids don't really understand. Many like me have matured much too early, and Kesem is a great place.
Camp is an opportunity to try and bring some of that childlike wonder back, even if it's just for a week. So whether it's making friendship bracelets, playing gaga ball, or like screaming camp songs at each other, throwing paint at each other, we can forget about our worries and just have fun, even if only for a little bit. We can be kids at camp while also being vulnerable with our fellow campers and counselors at the exact same time.
Going through camp through the years, I've found something. I've found people who can understand what I've been through. People who, when they say sorry, it's not a word. It's an experience that's along with it. A place where I can feel safe talking about things that I would rarely ever say, even to my family.
So Kai and I both agree that there was one moment during Kesem when we were campers where we truly felt like Kesem had forever changed our lives.
For those of you who don't know, during one night at camp, we have a ceremony called empowerment. And basically what we do is we have everyone, both campers and counselors and staff, all come together and answer the question, why do you Kesem? That in and of itself is extremely powerful. To hear kids younger than you talking about a situation that no person should deal with. To bravely open up and share in front of hundreds of people who they may not have talked to before. It's incredibly powerful. But at the end of every empowerment, we do something called the tap ceremony. And so basically everyone stands up and they take turns in the middle of the circle and they're asked the question, tap someone who you've enjoyed talking to this week, someone who you've made a friend with this week, someone who you think embodies Kesem. And so you go around this circle and everyone just taps everyone's shoulder. It's not something that's discussed. Even if you don't talk to these kids, everyone taps everyone's shoulder. And it just shows how strong the community is and how much we bond over this time at camp.
And that one year, when Kai ended up tapping my shoulder, somehow I knew it was him, and we hugged and sobbed for what felt like forever. We hadn't done any hugs like this up until that point, so it was really special. It was what we needed, but what we hadn't given ourselves up until that point. But almost equally as special was the support from all of the people around us. They didn't say anything. These are campers, these are counselors. Didn't say a word. Just put their hand on our shoulder or on our back just to show us that they were there and that they actually understood better than anyone else in the world what we were feeling at that moment.
Our Kesem journey has been an incredibly memorable one, and it is very likely that brings us back year after year. Even to the point where I applied to be a director.
Yeah.
But why is Kesem so special? In short, that's really tough to answer. There's so much that I could say and so many things that I could point to. But at its core, Kesem is magical.
Kesem is filled to the brim with love, compassion, and deep understanding that cannot be found anywhere else.
Thank you all from the bottom of our hearts for being part of our Kesem family. Together, we will continue to spread love, laughter, and hope to kids that need it the most. Your presence here today has already gifted numerous campers the gift of Kesem. Just buying your ticket. Please help send more kids like we were to camp, to help them grow, so one day they too can stand here, on this stage, share their story, and be able to thank the Kesem community for everything it has given them. Thank you.